This is a PowerPoint presentation that I've put together aimed towards kids to raise awareness for autism. Autism, always unique, totally interesting, sometimes mysterious. 2nd of April is Go Blue for Autism Day. You might have already heard of autism or know someone who has an ASD, Autism Spectrum disorder. But what is autism? Let's have a look at a short video produced by OAR. What's up with Nick?
There's nothing like the first day of school. New clothes, new classes, new friends. This year, a kid named Nick came to our school. At first, he seemed a little different. Sometimes during class, Nick makes noises and gets out of his seat. There's a lady that sits in our classroom and follows Nick around, and even takes him out of class when he's distracting us. We didn't understand why Nick got to take breaks or why he got to spend all this time with one teacher. My friends and I thought, what's up with Nick? It turns out, Nick has autism. Nick has had autism since he was little. Autism happens inside the brain. This doesn't mean Nick is sick with something like the flu. You can't catch autism. It just means that he understands some things differently than most of us. Once we learned a little more about Nick and autism, we understood why he gets extra attention. He just needs a little more help than the rest of us sometimes. The lady following him around is his aide. She's there to help him in the classroom. Sometimes small things bother Nick because his senses, hearing, sight, smell, touch, and taste, all work differently than ours. Like when we work on projects, we try to keep our voices down because Nick has trouble focusing if it gets too loud. As we got to know him, we learned what we can do to make it better for Nick so he can stay in class with us. Other kids with autism in your school might have similar challenges. The best way to help them is by getting to know them. Autism affects each person differently. No two kids with autism are the same. Some kids will talk with you, but not look at you. Others won't talk much, but will try to use other ways to tell you what they want to say. Some kids with autism may flap their arms or even rock back and forth. It may seem strange at first, but it's just something that makes them comfortable. Nick really likes building and talking about model airplanes. He even brought one in to show us how the propeller works. It was pretty cool. Sometimes, though, Nick doesn't stop talking about model airplanes. We listen because it's polite, but learned that it's okay to suggest new activities too. Some of us from class joined the art club together, and we invited Nick. He mostly draws pictures of planes, but we still have fun doing the projects together. Remember that you can always include your friend with autism in activities, even if he or she does it in a different way. Don't be afraid to ask your teacher or an adult for ideas that can work for everyone. Now that we know more about autism, it's no big deal. Nick is just a kid and a part of our class like everyone else. So just remember that all of us are different in our own ways. Accepting the differences of kids with autism is the first step to becoming friends and having fun together.
So what did we learn about autism? Well, it's not an illness. You can't catch it or see it. You're born with it. It's a difference. Everyone is different. Some kids are tall, some are shorter. Some have pale skin, others brown or black. Some love sports, others love to be creative. Some need an inhaler, glasses, or hearing aid. Some need a wheelchair or walking stick. Some people are right or left-handed. Some differences we can see. Then there are differences we can't see that are inside the body. We're all different. When you have autism, your brain is wired differently. You think in a different way and see things differently. This boy has good hearing. Everything sounds loud to him. It's common for kids with ASD to speak loudly to try and overcome all the other sounds. They can have very strong senses, which may distract them because they can hear, smell, or feel things others wouldn't notice. This little boy is worrying. Kids with ASD worry a lot. In fact, they're the best at it. They can have very strong feelings and sometimes find it hard to keep all their emotions in. Finding friends to play is hard. They find it hard to recognise other people's feelings. Sometimes they might feel sad because they don't know how to ask to join in and play. You can help by asking them to join you, but sometimes they might feel they need to be on their own. Working in a group is hard. It's hard to sort their thoughts and turn them into words. They can get upset when things change suddenly, as kids with autism love routine. They don't always know how to join in with conversations, so sometimes they say nothing because they don't know what to say. They have some difficulties, but they have lots of talents and special gifts too. They can think in a really interesting way, may be fantastic readers and great on computers. They know lots about things that interest them. They are loyal, generous, and honest friends. They love to share what they know, but sometimes they forget others might want to talk too. Sometimes they don't talk much at all. Just like everyone else, no two people with autism are the same. Did you know some famous people with autism have entertained us with creations like the Muppets, Sesame Street, and Snoopy, inspiring sporting heroes like surf legend Clay Marzo? Some have even changed our world with their inventions, like Bill Gates, brains behind Microsoft. It's also thought that great historical minds like Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, and Sir Isaac Newton may have had autism. So what can I do to help a classmate with ASD? Understand their sensory differences. Be a patient and kind friend. Understand if they work in a group, they might need to take a break. How you can also help at school. Understand sometimes the teacher might need to give them extra attention. Involve them at playtimes. Understand the different behaviours that help them, like flapping their arms. If they're not looking at you when you're talking, don't think they're not listening. They're busy focusing on what you're saying. You can help just by understanding. Remember, we all have differences. Some we can see, others we cannot. You can't see or catch autism. It's a difference in the way your brain thinks. Be aware of sensory issues like noise. Kids with autism really want to be understood. Include your classmates with autism in your activities. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a little understanding now about autism.